In May, I'm going to walk down the aisle in Italy and marry the most amazing man. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to manifest my fiance after heartbreak and a divorce that honestly traumatized me and left me feeling like my life was just in shambles. When I was 36, after 10 years married and 16 years together, I found out my husband had a baby with another woman. I was embarrassed, shocked. I think I waited 4 to 6 months before I even admitted to anyone what was going on because I just felt so much shame. I always used to joke and call it like my Jerry Springer life because for me, it felt like what I was going through was something that you see on TV, not something that you actually go through in real life. It was definitely a rock bottom for me, a really, really dark time in my life. Number one, and this is probably the most important of all of the steps that I'm going to talk about today, I went to therapy. This was a big one because without this step, I would not be where I am today. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I would not be sitting in front of this camera talking to you today. The work that I did in therapy really changed my life. And I am forever grateful for my therapist for really holding space for me in a time that I desperately needed it and supporting me through the process of healing that I needed to go through. I had a very dysfunctional childhood. There was addiction, abuse. I've had daddy issues most of my life. My parents did not have a stable relationship. What was modeled for me is not something as a grown up that you would want in a relationship, but when you see that normalized, a lot of times those are the patterns that you fall into, unfortunately. I had no idea what a healthy life looked like, let alone a healthy relationship. And all of that really kind of paved the way for me to end up in the relationship that I did with my ex. After my divorce, I was not clear about a lot of things, but I was clear about the fact that I did not want dysfunction in my life anymore. I wanted a healthy relationship, and I knew that I had to get healthy as a person first. Second thing I did, stayed single for a year and a half. I did date a man for a very short period of time during the early stages of my divorce. And I realized very quickly that I was still attracting dysfunction. So I ended things and I just decided that I was going to stay single, focus on myself, just really lean into things that I wanted to change in my life, rebuilding my life in the way that I wanted it to look going forward. I was also just really bitter towards relationships at that time. And I knew the energy that I was putting out, that bitter kind of petty energy, was not going to attract the person and the relationship that I wanted for my future. I just poured my energy into getting to know myself again, started exploring what I really wanted, what made me happy, and put all of my energy into building my new life. I went back to school. I started a business working with animals, something that I had always kind of toyed with and wanted to do. I spent time cultivating my relationships. I was not truly present in my life for years because there was always so much turmoil going on in the background. I was anxious a lot of the time. It's really hard to show up when you are in a constant state of just worry and uncertainty because there just was not any trust when it came to my ex. I was really just working towards having peace in my life so that I could enjoy the people and the things that filled me up and brought me joy. Step 3, and this one may sound a bit cheesy, but I learned how to love, respect, and show up for myself. I knew that if I wanted someone else to give me those things, I had to give myself those things first. I worked on boundaries, my non-negotiables. I was really working on healthier ways of communication. I knew that I wanted to be authentic and more vulnerable in my life, and that really meant that I had to get comfortable with who I was as a person and respecting myself and ensuring that the people in my life also respected me in the ways that made me feel safe and valued and secure. Step 4, when I finally felt ready and open to meet someone, I did an exercise in my journal. It was actually something that I had heard about in a podcast I had listened to. And so basically I got my journal and I wrote down all of the qualities and characteristics that I wanted in my partner. So, integrity, loyal, kind, funny, and so on. I didn't focus on any physical attributes. It was just about the person that I wanted and what I wanted our relationship to feel like: safe, caring, respectful, lots of laughter, common interests. I wanted someone who was interested in travel, someone who loved food and music the way that I did. I even went into detail writing about like what a Saturday morning would feel like in our life. I got very, very specific. And then I just let it be. I felt certain that when the time was right, I would meet my person. And then I just had fun. I enjoyed my life. I enjoyed my family. I enjoyed my friends. I traveled. I continued working on myself. And it kind of became like this game. The idea that at any moment, whether I was at the grocery store or at the airport, that I could run into my person. And that just made me feel so excited at the mystery of it, and that truly, like at any moment, my life could change. And about 3 months later, I connected with my partner. We've been together for 5 years. Our daughter just turned 1, and we're getting married in May. I truly manifested the relationship, the person, the life, down to so many like minute details. It's actually kind of crazy. I was at my mom's house recently, and I actually found the journal that I did my little exercise in, where I was writing down the person that I was looking for and what I wanted our relationship to look like. And I was floored at the detail and how close it resembled the life that I have today. If you would have told me back when I was 36 and going through that terrible time in my life that I would be where I am now, I wouldn't believe it. But I really think that having faith in yourself, taking the time to work on yourself, to heal, it's so important for really like cleaning out the dust and the cobwebs of your past and opening up space so that you can have the things in your life that you really want and that are really for you. I truly thought my life was over at 36. Now I'm 44. My life is better than it's ever been. I know how it feels to be like at a rock bottom and feel like there's no hope, that in the place that you are in the moment, you can't see how things could possibly get better. But you just have to bank on yourself, growth, your healing, forgiveness, really like leaning into building yourself up in a way that is happy and whole. You have good, healthy boundaries. You know what your non negotiables are. You don't allow people in your life who disrespect you or make you feel less than. You learn how to value yourself so that the people that you attract into your life will do the same thing. It does take work, but it's possible. And it is possible to go from heartbreak and divorce, a traumatic childhood, to having things in your life that you want or that you dream about or that you think, I want those things, but they'll probably never happen for me or to me because I used to be that person. Let my story be proof that you can turn your life around.